Zellie Rainey Orr. I am the historian for the Tuskegee Airmen Corporation. You're privileged to see a part of history today. You're going to learn about the role of Mr. William Henry Slade, who was one of the first 13 to train at Tuskegee to become a pilot. He is truly an incredible legacy because his story of struggle and triumph has not really been told before. Thanks to Charlie Leigh, who filmed Mr. Slade, you are privileged to hear from a living history maker.
The car that they sent us off was 43 white guys and me.
Okay.
And they sent us to outside of Houston to a place called Cuero, Texas. They had a training field there.
Okay.
And we arrived in Cuero like 11:30 on a night, and they all tumbled off the train to go to the air base out there. And when I got off the train, the sheriff grabbed me, and he said I was arrested for getting off the train without permission.
And what year was this?
1941.
1941. This happened in what part of Texas?
Cuero.
Cuero, Texas.
Yeah.
Because he said that you didn't have permission to get off the train.
There was only one black family in this little town, and they worked for the sheriff. He was a cook. He ran a restaurant, and that was his cook.
Okay.
That family was his cook for the restaurant.
And the only family in that town.
Yeah.
Okay, so then does he caught you off to jail?
No, he told her. He said I showed him my papers, and he said I couldn't go. You can't go out there. He says there's no black people on the base. You can't go there. So he told his cook to take me home for the night.
To the cook's house?
Yeah, to the cook's house.
Okay.
He didn't ask him, could I stay? He told him, take this boy home.
To your house?
To your house. I'll pick him up in the... No, he said, bring him back and give him some breakfast, and I'll pick him up in the morning. I said, I have to be at the base. I'm supposed to check in by 8 o'clock.
Right.
He said, don't worry about it.
So what happened the next day?
So I stayed with the cook that night, and I came back to the restaurant in the morning, and about 10 o'clock, he picked me up. And
the sheriff?
Sheriff put me in a car. We went out to the air base, and the guard let him in, and we drove up to the headquarters office, and we went inside, and he said, sit down. There was a chair inside the door, and he told me, sit down, so I sat down, and he just walked on into the office, and about a half hour later he came out, and he said, there's been a mistake, you're not supposed to be here.
The sheriff said that?
The sheriff
said. They told him that?
They told, well, I don't know whether he told them or they told him. That's what he told me.
Okay.
And he said, till we get some new information, he said, you just stay with the cook. And then a lieutenant came out of the office and said, don't be excited. He said, just stay calm. We're checking on it. And as soon as we get some information, we'll know where you're supposed to be.
So you're saying what you're saying is that the local sheriff in that town, took you,
he took control of you.
Took control of you,
yeah.
And the lieutenant, that they didn't know that they didn't know that you were coming.
Oh, they knew because they had the
papers.
The base had the papers, and I had my papers.
But they didn't realize that you were black? Is that what it is?
Well, they maybe didn't realize that there was a difference. I mean, when the people in Pope Field signed me up, they just signed me up because I passed the test.
Right. And
they were supposed to recruit people.
Right.
Yeah. And then when the time came, they just shipped me off to a training base.
Right. Yeah. Now, what I'm saying is that, on the application, on that application that you filled out, did it ask you your nationality? Did it ask you your nationality?
I don't even remember that. I don't even remember seeing whether there was a thing on there that said, what's your nationality?
What's your nationality was. Very, 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 very interesting. That
Yeah.
a sheriff, a local sheriff, looked like he had more authority over the military.
Well, that's what I thought, and that's what it seemed like. The major, there was a major who was the commander at that air base.
Right.
And he didn't do anything. The only time I saw him was 2 weeks later when he came and apologized. He said there had been a mistake and I would get paid for my time, and then they gave me transportation to Tuskegee.
Tuskegee. So it was about, you said 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
That you stayed
That I stayed
with the black cook.
Yeah.
Well, by you staying with the black cook, did you ever stay in contact with that black family or that black cook?
No, I didn't, cause I didn't get to do that.
Right, but they did make you
Yeah,
feel.
they made me welcome. They did.
Now you stayed with his family.
Yeah, it was just him and his wife.
Him and his wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, were they on the same? How old were they compared to you? Were you like their senior, or were they your senior?
They were older than I was.
Or they were older than you were. So you could possibly been old enough to be their son.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Now I just want to clarify, a statement that you made. After you were held for 2 weeks, then they came to you and just gave you a ticket and told you that you would be going to Tuskegee, and they didn't give you any explanation of what the holdup was or anything. They just
No explanation. Just told me there was an error and I was going to Tuskegee. I was supposed to be going to Tuskegee.
Right. Now during these 2 weeks that you were basically held up or in limbo, did you were you feared? Were you scared? Did you fear for your life at any time?
Not after the first night. I was all right, because the family that I stayed with, they were very nice.
Very nice to you.
Just a man and his wife. I think the wife worked in the hotel and he did the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So each morning when we went in, I went in the restaurant, sat in the restaurant, in the kitchen all day.
With him?
With him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at night you would go back to
Go back home, yeah. Go back to his house.
Now, were you in contact with your parents?
I wasn't in contact with anybody.
So nobody knew where you were for the 2 weeks.
Nobody knew where I was for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Now, describe what it was like when you arrived to Tuskegee, when you finally arrived there. Describe when you arrived to Tuskegee. Did you let them know? Did they know that you were coming? Did they know?
Yeah, they knew. Somebody knew I was coming.
Right.
Yeah, because I got picked up from the train station.
Okay.
What awesome history coming from a living history maker, Mr. William Slade, one of the 13 original Tuskegee Airmen. We'd just like to say thank you again, Mr. Slade. Thank you, filmmaker, Mr. Charlie Leigh Jr. And to the young people, just want to remind you that it is about the greater the struggle, the greater the triumph. Mr. Slade and those first men who trained in Class 42C, of that 13, he is perhaps the only one alive today. They were about persistence, about education, and about follow-through. Please, let's pass on the legacy with pride. Thank you.
easy. Listen to the fear that's gone.
I just want you to tell us about, I know we talked earlier, but I want to reiterate the story about the football team when you were in, you said y'all stopped in Atlanta.
Yeah.
To get to...
I was in the football team in Knoxville.
Knoxville.
You know, for college.
Right, and the name of the college?
Huh?
The name of the college in Knoxville?
Knoxville College.
Knoxville College.
Yeah. And we went to Atlanta to play Clark.
Can I ask you what position you played?
I was tailback.
Tailback,
Wow.
okay.
They had tailbacks in those
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a punter.
So it's a punter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the bus came down. We were driven a long time, and it was maybe about 10 o'clock at night when we got there, and the bus pulled up. I don't know where it was somewhere in the business district in the heart of
Atlanta, Georgia?
Atlanta, Georgia.
19 what?
That was in 1940.
1940.
Yeah. And the bus pulled up, and all the guys started piling out because there was like I don't know what it was, but it was like, it wasn't a McDonald's, but it was a place where they could get hot dogs.
I think it might have been the varsity, but...
Yeah. But anyway, they all started piling out, and they didn't even get out of the bus good before the police cars come rolling up, put them back on the bus.
And told them they couldn't
And
eat
say, you can't eat up here, go downtown.
And I take it everybody on the bus was black then, right?
Yeah, everybody
On the bus was black.
except the bus driver.
That's the varsity.